Good science, by definition, allows for more than one opinion. Otherwise, you merely have the will of one man, which is the basis of cult.
If it's not in frame, it doesn't exist.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown and a loser?
Where you been?
Drunk. Wendy. Darling. Light of my life.
What's your one purpose in life?
To explode, of course.
I like death with sex. How about you, Casey? You like sex with death?
Yeah, so fuck up and die.
All right, I'm gonna help you line it up right now, baby, with the
Line it up.
with your stem plant,
Line
dude.
me up. I love how you every time you get us into a show, you just literally like take a random fact about the whatever movie we watch, and you're like, what about your upgrade?
Yeah, what about, yeah. Well, actually, that was gonna be my opening. Is like, I was gonna say, if you could upgrade, if you could choose to have stem implanted, maybe not so like malevolent and like evil the stem becomes, spoiler alert, but more of like any kind of upgrade. What $6 million man version of yourself would you like?
I just want to not be in physical pain.
I think bad back, right? That we
Like,
did. We
bad
said
back,
that again.
yeah.
We're
If I go
old.
back to the
Sorry, we're
future. Sci-fi,
sorry. We hit 30 and our back exploded out of our spine. It just blew out the back.
So this month we're doing. Okay, so this is the Cult of Cinema Knowledge podcast. I'm Levi. That's Jordan. So this month we're doing like kind of like lo-fi sci-fi and just kind of more like not big action sci-fi movies as much, but more like under the radar sci-fi movies is kind of the vibe I'm going for. But I think the moral of the story here is I need to write a sci-fi movie that's literally just about going back in time to just fix your back problems, or like literally that's the like inciting incident is to drive the scientist who has like a bad back to create something that fixes his back, and then that's just it, and it's a delightful comedy.
I mean, they've already made that, and it's called The Wrong Trousers, but with the Wallace and Gromit, he gets those sweet robotic legs. That's all you need, man.
God, that is. Where's the live at? You know what? That's a good. If you liked this movie, go watch The Wrong Trousers.
Yeah, The Wrong Trousers, Wallace and Gromit, dude. That is. I mean, really though, go watch it. That's so sick.
It's so
but I mean,
good,
honestly, if we could get anything improved, it'd probably be our songs. You know what I mean? It probably might be a little...
I'm happy with mine. Gray's character, that's what he was missing though, is a dog. Like if he just needed a dog, like he needed a lovable dog around the house.
Well, I think that's what everyone says. You got to get a dog, especially in like especially like a rough marriage and like you know, when your wife's assassinated.
If I ever become a widow, I'm getting it, and like,
you have to.
I'm just gonna replace my kids with a dog.
Yeah.
To help me get through it. Anyway, so if you couldn't tell already. This is a bad start for this podcast, but we're watching the movie.
We've only done like 100 and something of these.
2018 sci-fi film thriller Upgrade is what we watched today. If you didn't notice, I'm stalling because I'm trying to pull up my synopsis.
Did you write your synopsis? Okay, good boy. This is the second film by Lee. Is it Lee?
I think it's Lee Winnell, and it's his third director. Or no, sorry, I got it backwards. I thought this was his debut originally, and then I forgot he did Insidious 3. But it's so we'll get into Lee Winnell in a sec because I got kind
his
of
second film.
I know it is. You're
technically
right. No, you're absolutely right. But for some reason in my brain, I can never reconcile that.
Oh sure. I mean, we'll get there.
We'll talk about Lee Winnell here in more at length. Why is this not letting me do this?
I don't know. We're a tight ship around here. Don't worry, folks.
Literally is like online documentation editor. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I got one document that's all the movie synopses I've done. So anyway,
so it takes like 8 minutes to load.
Well, I was on the wrong page. Okay, so I'll get you. I didn't get a chance to give this a one over. So let's see how it goes. So Upgrade, written and directed by Lee Winnell, follows Gray, a down-to-earth mechanic played by Logan Marshall Green, in a near future where technology dominates all of society. His wife is killed and he is paralyzed when the couple are attacked after delivering a car to a tech billionaire, Aaron. Aaron shows off a new tech he invented called STEM, and after some wallowing, he offers to install the chip in Gray's body, repairing his spine, essentially making him more human than human. More than human. However, STEM unexpectedly starts talking to Gray inside his head, and together they go on a vigilante mission to avenge his wife after the detective assigned to his case can't find any new leads. STEM grows powerful, allowing Gray to basically have superhuman strength and agility, which is good because the men he is tracking down also have bionic implants, upgraded humans. Because the procedure was so secret and Gray is being so brazen, Aaron threatens to shut him down if he continues on his quest for vengeance, to which STEM has a hacker override his system so he can hide from Aaron and ignore orders from Gray. He eventually finds out the men who killed his wife were hired by Aaron so that he could test out his new super chip on someone without any implants. The detective, now suspicious of Gray, follows him to Aaron's, but STEM is now pretty much has possessed Gray, and he kills the cop, and after revealing STEM was actually the mastermind behind the whole thing in an attempt to become human, he also kills Aaron. In the end, STEM traps Gray in a fantasy world where his wife is alive in his own mind, and STEM has the human body he needs for the next stage of its evolution.
Nice.
That's just
That wraps it up. I mean, this was a really tight movie, and to its benefit, it flowed so well. I was like
the word
thoroughly impressed.
The word I would use is because I've used words before like that are like really tight like this. I wouldn't necessarily like say it's like lean, which it is, but I would definitely more use the word like contained. Like this movie's just like it's got it all, just kind of boop, it's in there, and it's kind of swings for a lot of stuff, and it pretty much nails it all around. So,
I mean, I feel like it has like the John Wick version of it, where it's like super simple. It's like here's the inciting incident. He gets STEM, and now it's like, or like whatever, his wife dies, then he gets the superpower.
Simple,
now here he goes.
I think
and
this is a simple premise with a good execution. Right. You know what I mean? It's got
wonderful, yeah.
It's got a really dope cinematography.
Was this your first time seeing it?
No, I've actually seen it before, and that's why I put it on the poll because it. I really liked it. And I wanted a chance to rewatch it, but because when I first saw it, I was like, this looks cool. I heard it was good. And I was like really surprised by it. And then it kind of just came and went. And then Lee Winnell went on to make the Invisible Man, 2020 Invisible Man remake, I guess, if you can call it that. Interpretation, I guess. But we go back and listen to our, we did the whole bunch of stuff on the Invisible Man in our Horrortober stuff last year. So, but I don't know. I really liked it. And I wanted another chance to watch it and to see if I still felt the same about it. And because I was like, oh, I don't really remember it fully. And I do. I think this movie's pretty dope. But it was your first time, though, right?
Yes, it was my first time. And I was pleasantly surprised.
I'm glad. Because it's like I thought you would be. But because I know your style, but also like.
It's 50-50,
sometimes I never know with you.
Well, I will tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you. Because it's like. This was definitely a movie where I was like, oh, okay, this is a nice fist of ham that I'm getting at the beginning, and it's like everything to the inciting incident and like all of his like setup for his character. I'm just like I was like rolling my eyes, very like I was like, okay, I get it.
It's
and that I think that like Logan Marshall Green, he brought. It's weird, dude.
Man.
Really like him.
I
Me
wish
too.
he was in more stuff because I always shout out to the Showtime show, Quarry, that they unjustly canceled after one season. Quarry, but he's the main character in that, and he's so
good. And I think like Quarry, and like before looking at his IMDb, I couldn't necessarily place him. I mean, he gets. I think it's funny that he gets that Tom Hardy. Like we got to get that.
Everyone's like,
I got to get that out of the way.
Everyone's like, he's like the Plan B. He's the
Tom Hardy light.
Tom Hardy, yeah.
whatever you want to call him. Whatever. I think it's kind of rude because Tom Hardy, as good as he is is typecasted just as much. I don't know. I kind of feel like I'm like Logan Marshall Green.
Invitation. That's the other one. for me.
Yeah.
I know you weren't the biggest
Right.
fan of The Invitation, but
No, it's fine. I mean, just story-wise, acting, it's great. But
yeah,
anyways,
he crushes it.
yeah. And so he does a great job in that. And anyways, I just wanted to say, it's very because Quarry, especially, I'm like, he's got range and he's a good actor. And so it's kind of I'm like kind of frustrated that he gets that
He's like
unjustly just
he's
trying to like people trying to
typecast as a B version of a guy who already is typecast. So I feel like it's not fair because it's like he deserves a shake. Because in this he carries the whole movie, obviously. Like his acting is surprisingly nuanced too. Just like
there's definitely times. Well, I think there are times
like,
where
he's acting with his face and like his body's doing different things. Like that was really probably really hard. It's really good.
No, it was like it was hard and it was very impressive. And it's like it's one of those things where like it's very noticeable and in a good way though. It fit the story structure so well and like fit his character so well that I'm like this is fun. It's cool because like the like stem's implanted and it can't operate past where it's implanted. I guess that was kind of part of the lore. I didn't find that out until later when I was reading about it, but it totally makes it enhances the show for me now because it's like, oh, that makes sense because like his facial expressions and like his head movements and stuff. It's like funny that like I'm like, wow, we're getting a lot of great movement out of just his like
weirdly
face, his head.
Physical performance. Like he
yeah.
You know, he's got the good emotional, like he's hamming it up and being charismatic with his wife, and it's very like pretty stereotypical. And then he's like super depressed, but like he starts breaking down and crying with his mom because it's like his whole life is destroyed. And he's a paraplegic, which is really
that was
good.
great. That was really good.
But then,
yeah,
it's like the physical performance of like his body's doing all this crazy robotic like choreography straight up, and then he's doing something totally different with his head and face. Was good, and I don't know. He's got jokes too that are just like he's got charm, man. I don't know, like
he does.
This movie's
definitely
like darkly pretty funny.
And I think there's some parts. So okay, for me, let's kind of go like beat for beat. I think establishing who Gray is had me just like it just had me rolling my eyes so hard. I don't know. He's so funny. He's like this he's like totally against masks. I think it's way before 2020, but it also just like it shows his character. And I understand like Lee Winnell. I don't know what he was trying to say with this, but it's just so weird. It was such a weird character, and he's just so funny when he's like he sees the chip and he's like I see 8 people in the unemployment line. And I'm like okay, boomer. Like I don't know, this guy's like a tech billionaire. Like he doesn't care about that.
Especially like it's like 10 people. But, it's like 10 people. That's not even many.
Well, no, and it's like, and it's not even like we're in this like future where I'm like, you know, it's going to be
it's
dystopian.
like that's his. It makes 100% sense because it's like you have a guy who's like staunchly anti-technology.
I'm just saying it's ham-fisted because he's totally anti-technology.
Well, it's like the similar. So this movie, it really makes sense for Lee Winnell coming from such a horror background because obviously it's like a thriller, but this movie is a straight up possession horror movie. Like at the end of the day, you know what I mean?
Sure.
It definitely has a lot of elements of it, especially like in some of the violence and stuff. But then the ending. But
I wanted to get. I'm trying to get my nitpicks out of the way, because those are certain things. Like the biggest thing for me is like why he was chosen, why he's friends with Aaron, and why like his wife wasn't chosen, or apparently did she have biotech in her or whatever, did she have
because this is
implants?
Like cyberpunk light, and I wish they would have gotten to it a little bit more where it's just like implants are way more common, even if it's shit like super small, like instead of LASIK we just have built-in contacts that can adjust however or something, I don't know, something crazy where it's just super small shit.
I think that was my only problem, is like Stem's motive was kind of weak, but
the motive was weak, but the reason I see what you're saying.
It didn't take me out of it at all. Like it's just kind of funny. It's like Stem could have immediately taken him, and then Stem could have just convinced him to be like, "Hey, let's go to this hacker," and I don't know. He could have just fabricated the whole thing from the beginning.
That's kind of the thing for this movie for me. So it's like, I agree with what you're saying. And the first time I watched it, I definitely felt that way, where I was just like, don't think, like, I'm like, ugh, once I start to think about it, like the plot intricacies, I'm like, well, I don't know exactly. Like, it seems a little.
But like, I wasn't the whole time I was watching it. I was not thinking of these. I was just like, hell yeah! I was enjoying the ride,
like, putting the pieces together at the end. But
yeah. Well, I like it. So spoilers, the ending, he kind of gets what he wants, but it's dystopian. It's like the bad guys win. It's amazing. It's so rare that happens.
Yeah.
And so
it's super
love
bleak,
it.
but also sort of a happy ending, which I like.
Well, right. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, dude, that's what's so great is Lee Winnell comes from that kind of like a horror background, and it's not always just a happy ending, you know. And it's like
once I started
great
looking
that he
at this
leaned
movie,
into it.
When I looked at it the second time watching it, so this is only my second time, you know, and once I looked at that, I had a much more realization that this is a genre movie. Like, this is basically almost a B movie.
Dude, it's B. I called it a B plus movie, is what I was explaining to my coworker.
It's really tight and well done, but it's just like the script definitely feels like super tight, super clean, but like it knows that some of the shit is just like, don't just move past it, like just go, you know. And it knows the archetypes and stuff. Like, I feel that it's just like it lives in that cliche where it's just like, you know, it's like any other like slasher or something where it's like, oh, the teenagers, you know, it's like, oh, he's the man out for vengeance of his beautiful wife that was killed, and I'm surprised there wasn't more flashbacks of her like underneath the sheets being like, you know.
Well,
like
I know,
the giggling
and that's
dead
what's so
wife
good.
trope. Like, it basically is that.
It's coming from. I mean, this is literally like Lee Winnell said this in a fucking interview. It is. He's like, oh, it's like an interpretation of RoboCop. Like, he's like, that's exactly what he was thinking of when he wrote this.
I can get that.
He's like, and so where RoboCop's sick. Go back and listen to our podcast about that. We love RoboCop.
We did a whole episode on RoboCop.
we love RoboCop. We love in RoboCop. He has that flashback scene where he's got his like his physical memories and like his physical flesh memories like interact with his computer memories, and he's like tripping out because he can like see his family in his old home that's for sale. It's beautiful. It's a great scene. Yeah. and it's almost like I'm glad they didn't do that in this, because I feel like we have like enough, and right at the end you get that like. You get the satisfaction, you get that bittersweet ending where
it's like
he gets
the writing and everything is like super simple, super sweet. It's got some pretty fun ideas, but it's just like, you know, that's not the main. Like, again, I always said this was simple story, great execution, because it's like it just allowed him more room, I think, to play with like the cinematography and how that works interesting together with like the choreography, and like to just like get some really cool fucking practical effects and like things like that.
Well, dude, so that's what hooked me. So this movie without the gratuitous violence, I would have thought this movie would have been forgettable. But that first kill,
what was your reaction? Because I remember I was just
jumped
like, oh my,
out of my seat, dude. I was like, I kind of jumped up and went, yes, yes. Like I was like, I'm in it now. No, like, and I knew so that when you do like gratuitous violence like that, you can't do that too much more without completely turning to like schlock. Exactly. To keep the tone, you can't keep doing that. So I knew it wasn't gonna. I knew like unless you want to go that route and then go like completely gore, like and go more like a gore thriller and like true horror tilt.
Like every really gory scene was like.
It was just enough.
Super
it gave you
quick,
enough.
And then it's like, when he's like torturing that guy in the bathroom, it's like the actual stuff is like the sound design.
It's the sound design,
really
right?
Good. It's all like.
That's the only scene. So if we want to get there real quick, the bar scene. It's like so. The beginning. I was like, oh, it's forgivable. I understand his character. This is great. Gets the black. Cool. Then it's like that hyper violence. So like, I don't know. Explain that scene real quick too. The first time he lets Stem take over his body, because it's like Stem's this like program that is voice activated, and so he gives Stem like permission to use his bodily functions, and so he just starts fucking like wailing on this guy with like beautiful choreography, really really good fight scene. Dude, the death is so cool. He gets a knife. It flips around and it goes into his jaw and splits his fucking head open, and it like it's so visceral
so
and it's
brutal.
so fast.
And he's just like,
and it's so
and then, like,
yeah,
falls down.
right.
Jesus.
And I like that it doesn't really it gives you all of it. You get the visual feast, but then it's just like
it's there
just
a little
like
bit
2 or
longer
3.
than you think it would be too. Like
exactly,
it's
yeah. It's like enough to where you like see it really split in. Like they really like did a good job. It wasn't just like the knife went into his mouth and it cut. It was like they did the whole prosthetic thing. You're like, that's where I could tell. I'm like, okay, cool. It's like he kept his horror background and like he like is not afraid to use it. Thus, I was a little disappointed with Invisible Man because it wasn't quite as violent as I thought it should have been.
PG-13,
but
so.
I understand. No, I know.
I like this more than Invisible Man, but we go listen to that. We talked about it. Invisible Man is still.
It's
I think
tight,
he's
but
a
it's
really good director,
cool.
and I'm glad to see him. So,
he's on my radar 100% now. Like the next thing he works on, I'm 100% there. Except I don't know if he's doing the
Green Hornet
series.
Oh yeah, the series.
Is it Green Hornet?
Yeah, he was slated for Green Hornet, but there's no real news, so I don't know.
I don't know about that. And then I don't know about the series got greenlit, but who knows, writer strike, and then who knows if it'll just die on the table.
Yeah, probably. But that's
anyway,
the thing, because it's like, speaking of writer strike, it's like I've always liked Lee Winnell. If you don't know, he's co-wrote Saw, and he did like a lot of the earlier Saw movies, wrote them.
And wrote and helped write Insidious, right?
Yeah, and The Conjuring. He's primarily a screenwriter.
And he's like Blumhouse.
Actor.
He's a Blumhouse darling. Like
he's the guy who in the first Saw movie he's Adam, the other guy in the bathroom. So I've always kind of had a soft spot for him just as a writer because I feel like Lee Winnell really got out in front because he was like the directing half of the team, and then like everyone's like Lee Winnell is like the next face of horror, and I'm like Lee Winnell makes good horror movies. Or not Lee Winnell, sorry. James Wan. That's what I meant. James Wan is like the other
James Wan went on a weird ass route.
That's the whole thing. It's like he got really popular, like what happens with that we said happens with good directors. They get sucked into a big franchise or something. And so he ended up doing like Aquaman and shit like that. And like one of the Fast and Furious movies. Which is unfortunate. But
which is wild, yeah.
That's why I was like, when I saw this, I didn't realize that Lee Winnell had directed Insidious 3 first, so I thought this was like his directorial debut, and I was like, oh yeah, this like Lee Winnell is getting his time to shine, and I was like, this movie is like way better than I like this movie way more than any of James Wan's movies, and even The Invisible Man is like really well, like it's really tight. It's just not an Invisible Man movie, which is go listen to that.
I know, right?
That's our
which
whole
is
thing.
our
It's good, but it's not The Invisible Man. We're just diehard 1930s Invisible Man fans.
Right, yeah.
But I don't know. I'm glad to see him doing stuff because we didn't even talk. We want to talk about it a little bit. Speaking of like that fight scene is the first time you see it, but the choreography or the cinematography that's like really unnatural and like is like it's not that kind of shot where it's like locked to your body that they do the Requiem for a Dream shot. It's not like that. But it's like tracked to it to like with the movements, but you can tell they're doing it in real time. Like the cameras are choreographed with it to move with the body in a way.
Do you know how that was? Did you look up how that was?
No, I'm just like basing just from like watching it because there's so many.
I will tell you
scenes,
right
like,
now.
That's so good that every time that happens, I'm like, yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah. No, I will tell you right now how it happened, and it's ingenious and beautiful, and that's what's so cool is like. We're always on like the precipice of a new shot, a new like film technique, and just our oh my god, all of our like cameras are
when it does a full 360 flip near the end.
That's so sick, so dude. Cool. Do you know how they do it? We've got tiny light, really like not very heavy cameras.
Yeah.
They're attached to like a I don't know, a jib, and then it's like it's got like whatever a gyro on it or whatever it's called.
On, right? Where it's
so,
like
what is it called? I think it's called a gimbal. I think is what they call it. Where it's just like it just spins but it's stabilized, so it can flip around and spin. Well, anyways, they have that, and that is tracked to just a fucking cell phone app that they downloaded, and that's in his pocket.
It? That's amazing.
So the whole time he's doing all the choreography. It's the like
just following him. He's just like zoom.
Yeah, I think the gimbal is what it's called, and it's just like it's attached. So it's like as the camera moves, it is literally it's a robot just following it. So it's like AI, dude. We're getting in real time where it's like fucking robots are taking jobs. You want to complain about it there?
That's awesome, though.
Lee. It's like I know. I think it's amazing. It's beautiful.
The fact
I
that
love
it's the simplicity of like, it's just following an app. Like that's beautiful.
Right. Well, no, and it's still like it's so cool. It's like when you think about it, it's like sometimes I even get lost in like films, like trying to make a film. You know, we've done that before, and it's like it takes so much, and like watching behind the scenes, you're like, my God, all this like camera equipment and everything that's involved. You're like, this seems so out of reach, and then you find out like half the tricks and gimmicks are literally like fucking tape and a cell phone. Like it's not, it's like all this stuff where it's like, man, you really do have
sometimes
to just, like,
it really is that.
And it's the limitations, right? The limitations can like breed
that, like,
genius,
breed the creativity. Yeah, for sure. Because that's really cool to know that, because I thought that stuff was really unique.
You know what's sick?
And it was a perfect example of cinematography. Like a lot of times, like I'll say some shit to my wife, where it's like, oh man, what do you think this shot means? Like, why did they do this shot?
Oh, totally.
Like the dolly in, it's like on his face when he's doing this. Like, what is that supposed to convey about his emotions?
Yeah.
And my wife's like, you just sound like a pretentious film snob. And I'm like, this is like a perfect example where it's like so important. Simple. It's like, this literally camera only moves this way when basically STEM is in control of his body movement,
right?
To make it feel unnatural, which is like the most surface level you can get, but it's so effective and cool that it really sells the way his body moves. It's fucking sick. I love it.
Well, dude, I literally was gonna give this movie 3 stars, and then the like research I did on it totally bumped it up to 4 because like Logan Marshall Green. I mean, I understand like a lot of people do their own stunts, but it's kind of hard to do that when you're like low budget and when you're like, I mean, I don't know. I guess it's kind of like in that like that Goldilocks zone where it's like such a low budget.
Too, you know what I mean? It's like
insurance,
the actors are so much harder to insure.
And coming from like Blumhouse is like a smaller production company, but they're pretty big now, and they're
pretty big.
Then.
But that's their whole production philosophy is like, let's just throw a couple $1 million shoot
for
this
like
and,
shoot for like 10 million, and then make it back. But anyways, Logan Marshall Green did 100% of his own stunts. So like anything he does when he jumps down the stairs,
he was super physical.
all the fight scenes, dude.
I'm just thinking about him and Corey having Vietnam flashbacks, and he's in the street with the shotgun. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, but it's sick. I was like, oh cool, this is good. I liked, I'm like, oh they're good kids,
See, this movie's fun. It's like once you do start thinking about a lot of the sci-fi stuff, it's like the implications and the genre tropes, but it's just like this is just like a.
But I think they were done.
Hardcore genre movie.
My we're jumping around, doesn't matter. If you liked this, watch this. We did a podcast for it, and I feel like this has the same energy and the same like creativity as Dread. I'm like,
this is like in the same category as Dread. Like Dread is more.
It's tight and it just moves.
I feel like Dread's a little bigger. As far as like creating a whole world and production, it's like I wish this was like almost. I don't know,
dude.
I don't know, man. Like, but no,
I
agree with you. This is definitely the same category as Dread, like that type of movie where it's just like
that, like B+ movie where
B+,
it's like
really fucking cool genre movie. That's like just like a hardcore adult sci-fi thriller.
I know, and that's what's so cool. Is like it was refreshing to see that. Because I didn't know because Invisible Man was the first movie I saw by Lee Winnell, and so I was kind of expecting that. I was like, oh, he'll get right to the edge, but he won't go there.
Yeah,
but then that first kill, I was like,
plotting too. You know what I mean?
He's gonna
like
do
this Invisible Man's like the tension, which is very good. Invisible Man, but this movie's just once it starts ratcheting, like Stem starts talking to him, and it's just like bam, 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 bam. It just keeps going. It doesn't really give you time to like stew, which is good. In this case,
right?
You know what I mean?
No.
Like,
and the times you do get to kind of breathe, and there is like, quote unquote, comedy. It works for their characters. It's like it's enough time. Like when he gets to like the hacker, that whole conversation is kind of cringy, but it's like I like the parallels of like the like how hacking is supposed to be like drug abuse or whatever that the metaphor and the symbolism behind like the people who are just like she's that the hackers
VR, like everyone's all the VR people.
Everyone's like hacked into it and they're tapped into it and they'll do it for days on end and it's like to the detriment of their health. But but it's cool because there's enough tech that keeps the human body going and alive. But then that's kind of like, it's like
I like movies.
Not healthy. It's
I like
great.
fiction that takes place in like a
50 years
like
from
a
now.
pre-cyberpunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's just like this is in between our current reality, so where it's like feasible. It's like the near future, but it's like also like proto cyberpunk. Like you could see where it's going with the body modifications. Like this same universe in 20, 30, 50 more years is going to be full on like Cyberpunk 2077, like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
With fucking whole body mods and stuff. So
it'll be like I'm pretty sure it'll go to a complete police state, which is pretty interesting. I did
then
like
it will be Judge Dredd.
Like that.
Judge Dredd is the unofficial sequel.
Really though, no, it 100% will because it'll be kind of like Minority Report with like precogs because it's cool how the detective in this movie, she's in the database and it like his name pops up and it says like not a suspect anymore, and it's like she has to kind of go rogue, and it's like that's in 50 more years it's like a human being will just be there, just I don't know, just to press the button. That's
what's interesting. They just say because it's like they could really. There's a lot of stuff there that plant like the little nuggets that is like makes you want to see the wider implication of like how the police department works. But it's like
I would be excited to see a miniseries.
Yeah, so the show apparently there's a show in development. I'm like, yeah, I could see that if done well. If done similarly, if it uses this movie how it's made to tell a similar story that's more fleshed out in that universe, 100%. Unless they just take the idea and they do something completely different with it, which again, the idea is not necessarily what's special. Like the idea is good, it's solid, but it's not like incredibly unique or anything. Again, like RoboCop and stuff, but and it's like it becomes a possession. It's like a possession buddy cop movie. Like I don't know, because he ends up.
I love it.
I really like the ending.
It's basically it's a
little messy at the end, but it's
Sure.
with Aaron and stuff, but I like the outcome. You know what I mean? Because it makes sense.
No, of course, and I actually think I'm like, oh, dude, as a miniseries would have, like, if Lee Winnell was at the helm and then he like was there to write like whatever a 10-episode miniseries about this, I think it would be awesome because it's like it's like right at the end they had to do like that whole exposition dump, evil villain monologue where it's like he explains like I was STEM the whole time, it's like that whole like. It's like I was the puppet strings were pulled from before your birth. Like it's all that kind of stuff. And so I like that. It's just like it would have been actually better, like kind of slowly revealed throughout. Because there are like really no hints when you think about it. Like it's like very
really obvious
little.
That Aaron, like he's set up to be the bad guy because everything that happens to Gray is like very on the nose, and obviously he's targeted. It's not some random thing, and all that. And it's obviously they set Aaron up to be super creepy and like unsympathetic and like unhuman, and be like, I don't spend time around humans.
I know. I don't spend time. Yeah. It's like I don't go out much.
So
and you're like,
it's a good bait and switch because even though you can tell STEM is nefarious, when it's basically like I can control your body now and I don't have to listen to you, and it just kind of does that stuff. That it's not a huge shock when it's like, actually, I was playing you all along, but it's like a good enough twist that you're just like, oh yeah, that tracks. That it's like that would do that. That would go to those lengths. Not Aaron's reasoning seems stupid, but Stem's reasoning is like weirdly rational, but like irrational, and it's like want to be human somehow.
Of course, it's like, dude, and it's that whole the laws of robotics where it's like you build something that can't hurt you, but then it's like if it like gains sentience and like becomes like human.
Right. This is like Ex Machina meets meets Dredd.
I was thinking literally I said Ex Machina meets Dredd and then STEM is fucking Hal. Like, it's just 2001 A Space Odyssey. Like that's he like literally like talks like Hal, and he's totally got that like the whole like robotic like mentality or whatever, they're like just that like the rules where it's like you have to be literal.
I don't want to see a TV show. I want to see a sequel. It'd be a totally different movie, but of like, because he just like blinks and he's literally the first thing Gray says when he's in his mind. He's like confused that he's in the hospital and he's like, Stem, are you there? Like, so he knows something's up. So I want to see like a sequel where like the first 15, 20 minutes, like just the beginning, is like his reality like kind of crumbling around in him and him realizing that it's not real and trying to take back control. And then like I want to see why Stem wanted to become human so bad and what the next step is. Like once Stem's human, he's like, finally I can jerk off. You know what I mean? Like what?
You know, what? No, like what is he gonna do? Like he's gonna get one of those sweet protein shakes or something from the robot arm.
He's like,
I really
being a human sucks. Fix your back.
Well, and I love it. It'd be kind of fun to find out because it's like, I get it. People are influential. One person can do a lot, but like one just random ass fucking dude who has like, a quote unquote superpower, but he's still like, flesh. So it's like, unless Stem can like go and hack into Wi-Fi and then just become everything like her or something, or it's like, unless Stem can like literally just get into every single computer database and go into like the cloud and like corrupt everything, he's still just kind of a human. It'd be cool to see the limitations of what Stem could do inside of a human flesh body.
Yeah, like
and
if
then like
if it can have like some super advanced healing or something, like accelerated healing.
Well, right, because theoretically, like it would be able to, but I feel like it would have to body mod itself, and then it would kind of become like cyberpunk.
It's like
he would be RoboCop,
like the ultimate human though. Like he would basically become Usain Bolt or something, just like a fucking
he could just run
like an Olympic athlete.
Sure, but like I'm saying,
like
a bullet could kill him.
Yeah, still the limitations of a human being.
Yeah.
Other than he can choose to turn off his like pain receptors and stuff, so that is kind of like some interesting stuff.
That gives him the advantage.
See,
but then
again, these are the like implications of
know,
the universe that I'm like, that's
these
cool
are the fun
fleshed
things
out,
to
but
talk
also
about.
don't like. It's not like super. I don't know.
I mean,
I think the most unique thing is like the possession, where it basically is like starts off as like we're pals, and then it's just like he's like I can't control myself. Nah, you know what I mean? He's basically but then it's fun. Possessed.
It's fun that I do love like when man triumphs robot, like when it's like man versus the machine, and like he's trying to like fight it, and he can fight it a little bit, and so you're like, oh, it'd be kind of fun to like see him like kind of like you said crumble around him, and like maybe him overcome Stem in some way by like killing himself. Obviously, it'd have to be like it couldn't be like completely.
I'm glad because it's like that would be the real kind of other bittersweet ending where it's just like he wins but at the cost of his own life. But he's avenged his wife.
I thought it was when he shoots himself in the neck at the end and then he wakes up in the hospital. For like a split second, I was like, they can't, because I was like, that'd actually be kind of like, it wouldn't be unique, but it'd actually be kind of funny if it was just like a dream and that was it.
It just didn't go. Like, oh.
Yeah, it just was like they got attacked and he like his wife survived.
Have you ever seen God, it's like Synchronicity or something, but it's that Matthew McConaughey movie. That one, spoiler alert, and maybe I'll put it on the list. It's not that good, but it's a weird Matthew McConaughey movie, but like an hour into the movie they realize they're in a video game. Like essentially. But it's like such it doesn't really give you like it gives you hints, but it's kind of like that vibe where it's just like, wait, none of this is real. Like this is a simulation and we're NPCs. Like what? But it's like played super straight. The tone is like way off.
Yeah.
But
well, speaking of tone, in this movie Upgrade, that when he goes to like the Dirty Bones or Old Bones or whatever, that bar, that was like my least favorite scene, my least favorite like just I don't know sequence in the whole movie. It like totally to me, it kind of like that's where like the energy got like kind of zapped. It just for a second, like it brought it back just fine. And I love this movie, and so like I highly recommend it. But that just like be ready for like that scene like, to be kind of the like the weakest part of the whole movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenes that are like top-notch pacing, cinematography, gore, action. That scene is like it does feel like a little bit deflated. I see what you're saying. Well,
and it almost feels like they're trying to make like a high-budget movie where like he sneezes those things, and then it goes to like the super close-up and shows like the little amoebas flying through his snot.
Like. It's like the idea.
That's so dumb.
The idea is really cool. Of like he's got nano it's like, shredders. Like
you truly, and I feel like
really
it's like
cyberpunk.
Yeah, it like is it, and it like it
but
works.
Like, how does that
so
work
well.
exactly?
That's such like a. I don't know. It would have just been better if it didn't show. Like we didn't need to see it. I think him sneezing and then sound effects and then the guy breathing in and like blood coming out of his throat and stuff.
And there's like a little bit of line of dialogue where they're like, "Oh, he's got nanobouts, watch out." later. It's like something like that with like maybe just a like you could still get the idea because the idea is really cool. So I understand why they wanted to be like this is a cool idea. I want to show it, but like literally just be like have the guy the mini boss if you will the blonde guy Fisk if he's just like got him with the nanobot shredders, bro. You know, to his friend at the end.
Well, like I said, like he does that. Him sneezing,
like you get it.
The
Context,
guy getting,
you get it. But it's just
the
like
guy getting
like,
visibly
cool.
frightened. It's like like the bartender should know that like he's got these abilities. There or anything, you know. It'd be cool if that was like kind of his like rumor. But it's like
Well, see, that's
it's
the
like
thing.
can
it's
he
like
can
it's
he
all
turn that
just
off
a little
and
bit
on?
silly. It's like they just have a shotgun in their arm that they actually just have to load too. Like
I love it.
It's
so
cool,
like
but it's
can't
kind of goofy.
You can't think about it too hard. Like I love getting the vivisection of like the barrel in their arm and like you know it does it like it
he's
is
like cuts open his lungs
like,
when they're doing the autopsy on him and it's literally just like basically just like they're just ran some wires through like some pig guts or something. They're like
yeah.
Like,
I know. Well, I loved it, and they're like, "It's cobalt." Like, it's like that's cool, you know. Like,
literally like from someone's old stereo, like.
Right. No. No. Right. The wires. Yeah, the wires were kind of funny. But anyways, it's like, and that gun is like, it's so cool, but it's right on that. It's right on that edge of like, so it's so impractical and kind of like dorky. Like it just like it's like it works really well, but I'm like, how do they function throughout the day? Like, how do you choose to fire it? Because it looks like it's like a flick of the wrist, and so I'm kind of like, you know, I understand it's like sure they're trained, but it like that's where I kind of was like, dude, this guy like I feel like there'd be a lot more accidents with that. But anyways, it's like
you know another
like
part...
where did the bullets go? That was my thing. Where did the shells go? That was where I like.
That's what
I was
like
I can't.
This feels. This is why I say it's like it feels like proto cyberpunk too, where it's just like it feels like whoever's making these body mods has got it. They're like, oh my god, I need to resort to like fucking laser beams or something. Like please, let's like get this laser beam technology off the ground, and then 10 years we can get rid of the shotgun shells. They have to load into their forearm like they're shooting up shotgun shells. But you know, so it feels like growing pains kind of. But you know, another scene I forgot about. And I forgot about just now, and I was just reminded, but I forgot about from watching it the first time that I thought was really cool, is when Stem first starts talking to him, and he's like, "Here, like zoom in, I'll recreate this image, hold it up to your eyes, I can see what you see," and it does like the printer thing with his arm, and that's like the first time it like kind of takes over, just as one part, but I'm just like, it just like prints it. That's fun. I want more stuff like that, like just weird, funny utilities that show like the symbiotic nature of the two, you know.
Yeah, and that's like that's more of the machine. That's kind of like the iRobot style, where it's like I appreciate that, and I appreciate that's humor that didn't take me out of it. Like the dialogue piece in the bar scene is just my least favorite part. But the dialogue scene in the bar when he's like I flipped over that guy. You thought I was an invalid. You didn't know I was a ninja. And then Stem was like, excuse me, Gray, but I never practiced in the arts of ninjutsu. Like it's like how he just gets like so like Gray, pardon me, but I've actually never done that.
I think Gray is a character like how I think it's kind of funny because he's just such a like. He's such a basic dude, but it's like you root for him kind of because of that. But it's like mostly the charisma of Logan Marshall Green. But like, it's just funny because it's like he starts getting all cocky about it. He's like, because I can fucking flip around. And it's like he's not even really controlling it. And it's just like, I'm just basically just attached to this. But those scenes, it's like he is doing it, but his body's working. But
right. And the funny part is like, the funny part out of that is like him when he like does get the like, he gets to like trick them with the chair. Like those like subtle bits are I enjoy that. Like I enjoy the levity there.
Like the writing,
like when he goes like straight
cute.
comedy.
Like Lee Winnell's not like the world's greatest writer. Like he's not writing Shakespeare, but he knows how to write a really fucking entertaining movie that you can fucking sell too. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he writes what he wants to write, and then he's like, "Yo, I can make this on a budget. Let's fucking make this movie." You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's like, but it's things like that is just like, it's just kind of a little, just a little bit of fun. Yeah, it's goofy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like, I would love to see Lee Winnell and Alex Garland get together and make something. That'd be really fun.
That'd be interesting. I know. I kind of hope that he doesn't end up doing Green Hornet.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I guess that maybe could work. I mean, Green Hornet's kind of every iteration has kind of died. So it's kind of like the Fantastic Four. Like, you really shouldn't touch it, but maybe he can. Maybe I have faith that he could.
He would do interesting stuff. It'd be like Michelle Gondry's. Like, it'd probably be more accessible, but like there'd be some cool, nifty camera stuff, and because Michelle Gondry's had some really cool stuff. But I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think anyone really cares about that IP that much. Sorry if you're such a huge. Yeah, like, I don't want him to be like, oh, we need to. Because I feel like James Wan's like, yeah, dude, get in on that fucking DC money, bro. Like, I got an Aquaman boathouse. And so they're like, hey, give my buddy Lee, give him the fucking Green Hornet movie. And they're like, okay, James Wan. Thank you, James Wan. And and he does it. I'm like, no, dude, keep making like sci-fi thrillers because his last two have been, despite their flaws, overall net positives, pretty dang good when they're fucking rocking on all cylinders. They're not on all cylinders all the time, but when they're going all cylinders, they fucking rule.
I love this energy. Do we have any Reddits? We gotta move this podcast going because we got Travis today, baby.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to keep me on track today.
I'll give you a little money minute in between here.
Yeah, give me a money minute.
Yeah, dude. So this was a really this is considered essentially micro budget. It was made for $5 million.
That's pretty fucking good, man. Like I was gonna say like 10.
Right.
Which is still not that much. Like this.
No, right. 10. I was gonna say 10 is 10's low budget movie.
This feels like a $15 million movie because it's still you can see the budgetary restraints with like the smaller sets and the smaller like big ideas, small scope though. Like it's all like I said, it's contained.
Well, and you like with technology now, we can have like the huge because I feel like it did enough in my brain and planted like here's the city, and then we got a shot where they're outside in the city, and then and so it's like they used like their money wisely because it's like that CG of creating the like dense city is super easy to do, relatively cheap. So it's like I think a lot of their money went to like choreography, which is awesome, and then like practical. It's Lee Winnell. He shot like as practical as possible, and so that's amazing. I love that.
I think that's the worst part.
And it pays off
about the micro nano machines is that this movie is so practical.
Right.
That when a decent CG, like it's not necessarily bad CG. It's not great, but it's fine. But it's just like this ultra CG shot where it like zooms in on like a micro level.
I know it's too indulgent.
It feels really out of place, kind of when in like the kind of gritty, grounded type of like rest of the, sci-fi and violence. Like the shotgun stuff is very visceral.
Too clean. It's too clean.
The shotgun stuff, it's like you see it, like you said, it's the vivisection. It's got the tube prosthetic, like it's simple.
Beautiful,
but then it's like, let's zoom in on this micro level. Just take this camera and basically in this idea and just squonk it down.
Yeah.
But even that, having those kind of shots and the big cityscape shots on a fucking and the practical effects and everything on a $5 million budget, killing it. So
that's great. I mean, I think it helped. They shot it all in Australia, and they shot it in like 30 days. It was like a 30-day turnaround for like everything, dude. Nice. Which is really fast, and that's really tight. That saves you the money. But then they box office 17, so it's like they made all their money back.
That's where their roots come from, and I think that's why I'm still rooting for those guys, even James Wan that does Fast and Furious movies now.
That's okay. He did *Malignant*, which kind of honestly brought I give him some street cred for that.
I need to watch *Malignant*, but yeah,
it's great. It's so dumb and weird, and I love it. So
I want to see it. I tried to put it on one of the polls and it didn't win a while back, but maybe we'll watch it for October.
Horror-tober. Horror-tober coming up, baby. I'm ready.
It'll be here before we know it, bud.
I know, I'm always ready.
And like these guys are scrappy, and so that's why I'm like I'm rooting for them because it's like they're the guys. They are like the indie, like big indie filmmakers of the 2000s, where it's like they made the Saw short film on like Saw became a huge thing, and they made that for like fucking nothing. Also, so it's just like it's sad that Lee Winnell hasn't had the clout to get a budget, but it's
Conjuring's
still...
Conjuring's what invented Blumhouse. Like that's what, or that's what that's what gave Blumhouse its like leg to stand on. And now we're here, and Blumhouse makes great movies. So
yeah, Blumhouse does okay every now and again, right? Yeah. Okay, so I got a couple Reddit. So Turbo13 says this movie was a fun one, definitely one of the best paced movies I've seen in a while. I thought the ending was badass with how Stem just put him into VR with his wife, and the exception of why wouldn't Stem want to take over the main villain. I mean, his sneeze can kill you, and he has a gun and an arm, so why did he choose a normal dude? I'd rate it a 4.2. Thumbs up.
Nice. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree, because the Stem like just briefly mentions that he needs an unaltered human.
Yeah.
But it also begs the question, why wouldn't he take his wife? I mean, maybe that's like a statement on sexism here, because it's like he wouldn't want a woman. But
if
his
we
wife,
learn anything
his wife
about
is like
artificial intelligence, they immediately become super racist and super misogynistic in real life.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Stem's really just like an anti-Semite.
Yeah, he's like, I need a white guy that works.
Blood.
I need a white guy that works on cars. And that's my archetype. But anyways, his wife would have been a smarter choice in my opinion. So we'll just I'm gonna leave it at that, because she was fucking smarter, and she worked at Cobalt. So it's like she already had access to like
she's got the
a huge
because once I become I don't know. He doesn't want to make his life harder by being a woman, honestly.
And
she's got the better job.
And she's sympathetic to robots, dude. She fucking loves robots. So it's like she would have totally. Anyways,
I know
let's go.
I don't know.
Let's get going. Let's get going.
So Cones for People 2 says, I had not heard of this, so I watched it for the first time with no expectations, and I really enjoyed this. The film is a lot of fun despite the violence and heavy themes, and it looks pretty nice despite its low budget. The lighting crew did a great job with light filters to give it a great look. The film seems really stood out and the fight scenes really stood out and were a highlight of the film, even giving me a holy shit moment the first time Stem takes full control. The cinematography really made the fighting look unnatural. I was split on the ending. I loved the very end where Stem wins, but the few minutes previous where we find out that Stem had this whole plan of becoming human was a bit too much. I think I would have preferred if Aaron was just the bad guy and Stem was an experiment gone wrong. Also, Aaron being the bad guy was way too predictable. Overall, I really like this despite a few minor plot issues. 4 out of 5 for me. Still solid. Yeah, that's solid. Thanks for commenting, guys. And then I guess Deuce Double J says, I liked it. Definitely flew under the radar, but those who did watch it were pleasantly surprised, like you said. If it came out today, it would probably get more notice. I think so. It's I'm weird that.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like if this was really easily accessible on like Netflix, it would blow up.
No, I totally
that's
agree.
That's the thing.
Because,
it's like if it was on like a big streaming service and people could just like kind of just like casually come across it more easy, then I feel like it would get a little bit more attention. And it's but that's why it's kind of a hidden gem. It's kind of flew under the radar. No one really talks about it. How much? I don't know if you said how much did it make.
That's right. It was 17, so it did great.
Yeah. That's solid. But it's not 17. Like those are still small budget movies where they're like, well, it's not fucking Fast X. It didn't bring in $100 million, so who gives a fuck? You know what I mean?
Right.
But I'm just happy dudes like Lee Winnell just get to have a career. You know what I mean? Even it's like.
Yeah, after Invisible Man, I was like, cool, I like that. And then this movie, I'm like, okay, shit. If he keeps this energy, like in his, because it's like Invisible Man, he still has that same energy.
But want this like thriller, like adult sci-fi thriller. We don't really get that many of these days. Like,
no.
Again, we're talking like back in the like RoboCop. Like I feel like the '90s, we got quite a few of those, like pretty R-rated like thrillers with the sci-fi like undertone. Like you don't really get every sci-fi. Becomes more of an action movie geared towards horny teenagers. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. I want my good adult.
No, I like
sci-fi movie with gratuitous
speaking
violence.
Of adults, let's listen to Travis.
Okay, stall funny while I find it.
Bring it in. Well, I can give you another quick update on budget because this is insane. I just looked up Invisible Man, Lee Winnell's version, 2020, and it apparently was $9 million. It has the smallest budget. It had $9 million. It grossed $145 million.
God damn! That's what I'm like. See, $9 million for the fucking the 2020.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
That is-
Dude, that guy knows how to fucking stretch a budget because
Dude,
that movie I was like 25.
I'm thoroughly impressed.
20, 25 million.
Easy. Yeah, if you said 30, it's like fucking like Asteroid City is gonna cost $30 million, and that's like that takes place on like one green screen set. So it's like it's like that takes place on like one backlot. Like
I can't believe that movie
wild.
was made for under $10 million. This movie doesn't even
wild.
look like it's made for under $10 million.
No,
And
no, dude. I'm like
the
they gotta
production
be.
quality
They must
is
be lying
much
about
better.
the budget.
Oh god,
They
that's
must like Blumhouse must be like I don't know, selling off shares or something.
I want to be
committing-
Luminell. I want to be just like,
Oh,
I got this.
know.
I got this, dude. Just like give me like a couple cool mil, and I'll fucking make a cool movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have the skills, but I like.
I mean,
I like to hope. Like I just want to be.
Yeah. We need to give you the. We need to give you the
have you
power,
listened
dude.
his sexy? I don't have a good accent like he does, but
Oh yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
damn it, let me try out my Australian accent right
As you
now.
go a little, yeah,
Just
I know,
kidding.
dude, you gotta be the Aussies,
all right,
baby.
You ready? So here's Travis's voicemail. Here we go. Nope. Here we go. Here we go.
Hey guys, Upgrade is an exciting, interesting concept sci-fi flick with an unexpected ending. I liked everything about this movie except the lackluster police car chase. Maybe that would pass in other movies, but the bar was raised on this one from the moment STEM entered the picture. And also, is it me or does Logan Marshall Green look like a Tom Hardy double? I also think he does an exceptional job making the viewer feel his pain and sorrow from losing his wife. The sheer dissolution he was experiencing from seeing his wife murdered, while at the same time being stuck in a chair, was touching to say the least. So my question for you two is, would you like to see the continuation of this story? The ending, in my opinion, was great. Would it be cool to see what STEM would do now that it's in complete control? Thanks.
Nice. See, that's what I said. That's what I said. Like, I want to see what Stem's plan is, and then like the struggle. It's like Get Out, where he's like trapped in his own mind. You know, like I want Gray to come and be like, "Get out! This is a robot." You know.
Well, that'd be kind of cool if he like could gain some of his faculties and like speak.
Yeah.
You know, and like so it's just
well, it's like
'cause
that whole
I love
season arc of South Park where Cartman drinks Kenny's fucking ashes. And Kenny just comes through every now and again. Like that's like I just want the second one to be a buddy comedy, and then he's just like, "Shut up, fat ass," you know.
Well, do you know what's? Oh my God. Okay. Do you know? I didn't. You just. Thank you, Travis, for calling in.
We missed your voice.
We have missed you. You just triggered a memory. I'm pretty sure Venom, a Tom Hardy picture.
Oh yeah.
Came out the same year, and it's got a very similar premise where he gets controlled. And then it's like.
It.
Yeah, dude.
That's got
that is bonkers.
It's like literally like that's got to be that's the main reason nobody saw this movie.
Yeah,
it's same year. Tom Hardy.
It was same year.
But it's
oh my God,
fucking
and Venom,
giant Marvel movie.
Well, I know, right? Venom has like all of the things going for it. Venom was probably a $50 million budget. I gotta look it up now, real quick.
Look it up because I'm curious.
I gotta know.
I never.
And that's I remember seeing. I
didn't watch all of Venom, but.
Oh, I never saw it either, but which is funny because I like the premise, but I just Marvel movies are so structurally they just don't go there.
I heard Venom was good, and it's like honestly the sequel looked fun because I like Woody Harrelson, but I'm just like every time I watch, I'm the kind of guy that I can't get into a show or a video game or anything if there's like a ton of existing content because I have to know.
Oh my God! What Marvel figured it out, dude. I do not understand.
What is it?
I guess Marvel is just doing the exact same thing that like Blumhouse does. They just do it on
the whole studio.
I mean, I guess that's true, duh. But it's like fucking. The budget was $100 million. God. So it's like 100 times.
We were lowballing there.
I know we give it 50. It's like, dude, $100 million. So it's like 105 times the budget.
We're not math guys.
Yeah, whatever.
Guys.
And then fucking it grossed. What is that even? What is that? That's almost $1 billion. No, I'm losing my mind right now. $856 million, right? Isn't that almost $1 billion?
Yeah,
gross worldwide. No, $856 million, dude.
That's why. Fuck that.
Get fucked, dude. I don't even understand. It's like I don't even get it. I'm like,
it's so stupid.
Is it
right.
like? I mean, I need to see this. because I'm sure the pie chart goes.
Let's watch
like
it, but let's
$100 million
not
in America. And then, I know. Yeah. let's figure out a way to get it off Tubi or something.
I will try and decipher a way to watch it for free.
What the hell? I do want to. Now I really want to see it. So I'm gonna, Travis. I have a question for you and everyone out there in podcast land. Please tell us: have you seen Venom? Do you like Venom? You've probably seen it because 856 million people have seen it. So you had to have liked it.
Should we? Yeah, like. Should we? I know on the next week's poll, we got movies like Stalker, but should we do like a fucking Marvel movie?
Do we need to do a Marvel movie? Was that what you want from us?
I don't know. If I'm dead on the inside,
I know. May as well do one, man. Let's just figure it out.
There's not enough booze in my house.
God. Anyways,
I don't have anything else to say. This movie is a lot of fun. Go check, if it sounds like it's up your alley and you haven't watched, hopefully you.
Now I have to see Venom to see if it's better, but I feel like it's going to be better than Venom.
It does sound like a kind of a double feature. You know what I mean?
Upgrade's got to be better than Venom. Venom just.
I'm gonna
too
try.
dorky.
Now I feel like I gotta watch Venom, but I gotta give it like my objective viewing because I'm just so obviously just biased against like those.
Dude. Our respective partners are totally right. We are pretentious. But you know what? Speaking of which, our movie for next week is going to be weird.
Did it win?
It did. Yeah, I checked it.
Okay, so moving on, we're still doing
by a whopping one vote. It won.
Upgrade was really close too. Upgrade won, I think, only by one or two votes as well. So,
thank you for voting, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Not as many people are voting, but I saw that coming a mile away when we decided to do this genre. But I think we flip flop between big movies and small movies. I like, obviously, the real diehard cinephiles that are with us on this. They're getting out of their comfort zone. So this next week we're watching David Cronenberg's Existence with an X and a Z capitalized.
I know what? I love Cronenberg, but I'm really frustrated with how he decided to spell it.
I know. Oh God, dude, tell me about it. I was trying to type it out, and I'm like, So now I'm kind of mad we have to watch it because I'm gonna spell it wrong and do it on the whole thing. But no, I've never seen it, and so I'm looking forward to it. It's one of the few Cronenbergs I've not seen. It's kind of been on my list. It looks weird, so I don't know. Late 90s Cronenberg, man. Let's find out. Right?
A minute.
Yeah.
A minute to win it, dude.
Let's find out. So go check out
ready
that
to
movie.
Get goopy, dude.
If you see, dude, there better be some goop.
Better be.
The cincher for me is when I realized Willem Dafoe's in it.
Oh, baby.
Which is like a smaller character, but I'm all about the foe, baby.
Yeah.
So anyway, go watch that movie, Existence. I keep wanting to say Extends or something.
Extends. Yeah, that's really what it is.
Existence, but it's spelled super crazy. You'll figure it out. I don't know. There's probably
Look up Cronenberg.
There's like a flesh gun in it, which he's got an obsession with weird flesh guns.
He loves flesh guns. Let's take a bet right now. What body part, what like private part are we going to see of William Dafoe in this movie? What?
Oh, his butt cheeks are going to come off and become flesh guns? I don't know.
Yeah, right. I
hope so.
It's either going to be butterballs. One of those. I guess. Stay tuned to find out.
Stay tuned. Yeah, it's coming next week. Check that out. See what other movies we're going to be watching. We also, for our Patreons, do you want to say what movies we're going to watch? I mean,
sure.
At least next week.
Put it on. That's the whole. We're in promotion corner right now, baby.
Yeah,
you gotta.
If you've made it this far, I appreciate you very much. And we're going to. We talked about we're going to do more bonus movies for our Patreons. So if you want to check out those podcast episodes, come join us on the Patreon. But we're going to do Park Chan-wook's Decision to Leave. This next week, and then by the end of the month, we're going to do, when it comes out, we're going to do Asteroid City. So.
Hell yeah, dude! We're staying relevant, baby.
Would be good. Well, the whole thing, we just want to like watch new movies that I kind of want to make them pretty much all ones both of us have not seen.
Right. Yeah.
Newer movies, just so we can catch up with shit we want to watch. Because again, it's like I'm pissed. It's already June and I haven't watched Decision to Leave because that was like one of my most anticipated movies of the last year. But it's like so many movies just fly by, man.
Oh yeah, we're making it a priority, and everybody out there. If you come and be a Patreon supporter, we will love you forever. We'll give you virtual hugs and kisses, and you can get some fucking dope ass content, baby.
Content. We got other bonus podcasts and stuff, and the Plex and everything. So check it out. Thank you everyone who is on there, and thank you to everyone on the Reddit that actually is participating.
Yeah, you guys rock.
Yeah, you guys are all great. So I like this. I like this.
I like doing this too.
I like. I'm a fan of Cult of Cinema Knowledge. I'm a fan.
I know, me too. I actually listen to our podcast sometimes. Kind of.
I'm actually upset I don't have a tattoo yet. I'm surprised.
Oh, you just wait. Actually, yeah. What's going on? Actually, that's going to be a patron tier coming up. I totally forgot. So we'll look for that in the future, there, my good friends, and everybody who supports us.
Tattooed
love you.
on Jordan's neck.
100%. All right.
All right.
You guys have a great night.
Goodbye.
Enjoy your upgrades.